Glenn, we can't see it on the screen.
Stupid.
To the Huddle, Season 2. I'm your host, Neil.
I'm Mike Lay.
JB in the building.
Charlie P. right here for you.
All right, before we get into the second show, we want to send a prayer out to Sam from Dream to Soar Foundation. His son was rushed to the hospital. He was supposed to be on the show today. So just a quick moment of silence for Sam. All right, let's get right into it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the show. We got a great show for y'all today. We want to do a couple thank yous to Tony Massenberg over at Douglas, Coach Devon at Oxon Hill, Coach O at Blade, Chuck at Fairmont, Coach Ayana at Largo, Coach Fuller at Rose, and Coach Twan at Rose. Thank y'all for supporting us, and also to the Red Cup and Rick over there, thank y'all as well. So let's get into some of the highlights over the past week for the playoffs.
All right, so this past week, boys and girls Maryland playoffs are going on. And right here you can see that Rose Wise girls playing, Rose is playing Wise, and they beat them about 15 points. I don't have the exact scores, but 15 points, and then they went about handling it with a lot of defensive pressure. They pressed very well, and they out-rebounded Wise by 12 rebounds. These young ladies have been playing very efficient due to Coach Fuller's instructions. They run their offensive sets with a decent amount of passes per set, and they get the defense, out of position each and every time, whether they're in zone or in man. They listen to everything they have to do, and you can see the preparation throughout the week pays off every single game. They currently reached the regionals. They'll be in the regional championship. This next segment up here is Potomac versus Poly out of Baltimore. It was a very intense game. Potomac went 21-3, and Poly was 16-7. These were the top two Division III teams in the state of Maryland, which made it kind of odd that they played each other so early in the playoffs. It lived up to the hype. The fans had a good time. They got the $6 worth. It felt like $20. They had, Poly has a young man that's going to Long Beach State next year. He has quite a few highlights in his clip. Number one, dunking on everybody. And but Poly had the highlights. They had the high octane highlights, all the dunks. But Potomac, they held their own. They were real scrappy. They used their speed, and they were able to play really good defense. And they made a lot of threes, which really kept them in the game. It was a back-and-forth contest, and it's unfortunate somebody had to lose that game. So, moving on, we're going to have, we got a little bit left on this clip, but we're going to go to Friendly versus Fairmont, which was a lopsided victory. Shout out to Friendly because it's my old school. We doing bad, though, in these streets. Yeah. Unfortunately, we in the 1As now instead of the 3As. But shout out to Chuck Henry, coach of Fairmont. He has a lot of singers, 13 singers on a 15-man roster. Yeah, so they have a lot of experience, a lot of poise. They don't really seem to crack under pressure. Any of the games that we've seen them play, they've pretty much handled their field majority of the year. Only time they really lost is due to mistakes they've made. Do want to give a shout out to Darius Bowman, number 3 from Friendly. He's a pretty young, good player. He's actually graduating, but really want to shout him out because he's about to go to my alma mater, Bowie State. BSU for football. So you know what I'm saying. But Fairmont went on to win this game. Fairmont went out to win this game 77-55. They didn't even really press. They really played a half-court defensive set. They were just able to disrupt the ball handlers. They had really good on-the-ball defense and caused a lot of turnovers and distractions within their passing game. And that eventually just led into an onslaught of scoring, fast breaks. And, even when they put their bench players in later in the game, they still kept the momentum going. And then the last segment we're going to have for you is Game of the Week, really, which was between Roosevelt Raiders and Bladensburg, was it Stag?
For the 4A?
Yeah, okay. I always forget the mascot.
Coach O, what's up, baby?
So, if anybody was there, you saw what happened. It was madness in there. I mean, number one, I'm fat, so it was hot, you know. But it was, you couldn't find a seat in the building at all. They had people standing around, looking like one of those games you see on, like back when LeBron was playing. Ellen Roosevelt came out. They ran their sets, man. They did a lot of good ball screens and got their players open. They were knocking down the three. They were making, very, as you see, very agile layups and dunks.
Agile,
I'm not flexible or anything. But Bladensburg too. Bladensburg, they stayed tough the whole time, man. Their crowd gave them a lot of energy, and they fought back. This game was so intense. The crowd basically battled each other between the fans, and even the cheerleaders went back and forth, as you can see. Well, the cheerleaders footage isn't in this clip, but it was real intense. Bladensburg ended up getting the win. They were down 12, came back, went up 7. Roosevelt came back and had a chance to tie the game at the end and had a missed layup. The young man anticipated contact, and he didn't get hit. So shout out to Bladensburg for the W.
All right. Thank you, Mike, for that in-depth presentation. So also we want to give a shout out to Kevin Durant. He pledged $10 million to the PG County schools.
Wow. He's
from the area. Let's give him a round of applause for that. And we also want to give a round of applause for our special guest, Mike Sweetney. He'll be in right after these commercials coming up in the short. And we also have Commissioner Willis that'll be on the show as well. So guys, before we go to commercial break, who are some of the great players you've seen over the week as far as high school? Who's your favorite right now?
My favorite, honestly, is number 35 from Fairmont, one of Chuck's kids, Rolando Reed, that was hitting all the shots at the county game. My man got a lot of everything. Got a lot of moves. I was surprised he can shoot as well as he can from the outside because his post play is pretty good.
Nice.
So he can do a little bit of everything. I see him in college if he loses a couple more pounds, get his dribbling skills just a little bit better, he's going to be able to make some noise.
Respect. Well, before we go to commercials, I want to say thank you to Dayron and Dennis. They did our intro again this season. They're with the Seek and Find group. They also taking anybody that wants to have them come out and perform at any event. Please support our local businesses. They're going to be doing some commercials coming up soon. And stay tuned, subscribe, and you're in the huddle.
We up this morning, children. When my eyes I was closed, Lord, I could move, yeah. That's a mighty good reason. You see me shout.
You about to be lying.
All right. All right, Kelly. Welcome back. You're in the huddle. Let's give a round of applause to our special guest, Mike Sweetney. DMV Oxon Hill legend. Welcome to the show, Mike.
I appreciate y'all having me, fellas.
Yeah, bruh. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the days at Oxon Hill. What was your greatest moment at Oxon Hill?
Man, I think my greatest moment was probably finally getting over that hump, winning the state championship my senior year. 2 years in a row, we just kept dropping the ball, kept losing. We finally got over that hump, so to have that state championship was probably like one of my greatest memories.
Ryan, you played against Mike. You want to talk about some of that?
He was the most dominant big man in our era, man. 6'9", 250-something. That was hard to stop back then, man. Mike, I did want to ask you one question, though. The difference as far as big man right now. Back then, all you really had to do was post and, kind of do that in that nature. But now the big man, for you to actually be something and make it somewhere, you got to extend your game. Talk a little bit about that as far as the difference when you was a big man and now the big man that they have nowadays.
Oh, back then when I played, it was just pretty much, in the post, scoring in the paint, rebounding, just the physical game. Now as a big, you got to learn how to handle it, shoot the three. Pretty much, you got to have some guard skills to be a big now. So, if not, you ain't going to really, last at the next level.
All right.
Respect that. So, speaking of big man, Georgetown, you went to Georgetown. Let's talk about, how your decision was made to go to Georgetown and what Big John meant to you as far as bringing you over there.
That was a funny story with that. I verbally committed my freshman year. They came to like one of my games. They brought me to the school for an unofficial visit or whatever. And he was like, look, it was like a short meeting. He was like, look, I want you to come to my school. I'm going to make you a pro. I want you to give me a commitment now. And I just panicked, like, all right, yeah, I'm going to Georgetown. And I never took no visits to other schools, nothing. I just like, all right, this is what it is. So everybody was just like shocked, like, why would you do that? And it worked out for me, but I just kind of believed in what he was saying, and it worked out for me. So.
Did you want to go anywhere else, or did you know Georgetown was the home for you?
I kind of knew because, at that time, I had, Pat, Lonzo, those guys reaching out. So, as a youngster, them guys reaching out to you, you're like, man, all right, look. They said, look, we got your back. You come up here, we're going to make sure you're good. And they did. They held their word. And it was good, so it worked out for me.
Respect. So what advice right now would you give for Pat Ewing since he picked up the new coaching job out of Georgetown?
Man, make sure you get some of his talent in this D.C. area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people always, everybody always talking about the L.A., the New Yorks and all that. But I feel like D.C. is probably one of the most talented areas when you're talking about high school and, even guys making it out, making it to college and making it to the pros. Like, our numbers are up there, and there's just a lot of talent here, man. It's just, make sure you get, take care of home first before you go out look for other areas. That's what I would tell them, and I've told them that.
Respect. Well, I had a special guest got on my horn, Lamar, to come up here real quick. Come on up here, bruh. Talk about some of the season. You come on back here.
What's
Mike,
up, how you doing, bro? Hey, now, how you? All right.
Can I hear you? Yeah, he's right there. Is the mic hot?
Yeah, turn it on. Is it up? Push it up.
Everybody playing with the mic.
Is that?
You on?
Is that?
Yeah, you on.
Got loud over there.
Yeah. So, Lamar, let's talk a little bit about Oxon Hill and playing with Big Mike. How was that? How was that experience, bruh? speak on the Final Four a little bit, and then we'll get back to Mike.
George Mason.
I ain't make it there. Tell me how it felt. Tell me,
How that run
you know
felt,
what I mean?
man.
Tell me about that experience
Yeah.
getting there.
Man, it was crazy.
Cinderella story.
That team, outside of my opinion, I think I'm the closest team I've been on. You saw one of us, you saw all of us. And the work that we put in the offseason, that was probably the hardest working team I've ever been on. And people say y'all make it to the Final Four with Magic. I was like, nah, man, you weren't there for the sort of workout, suicide, weight training. We only played 7 guys, so we had to be in shape.
Yeah, that's back there.
And Mike can tell you, like, college workouts ain't gonna kill you. We kept trash cans on the floor, and that was normal. But, you know, the work that we put in, starting from I would say, from the end of my junior year, Coach L literally came and said, I just went to the Final Four, so they're no bigger than us, and they went to the NCAA championship. There's no reason we can't.
Respect.
So that year, we just put in a ton of work. Final Four for that.
All right, so Mike, 2003, draft 9th pick, went to New York. Tell us a little bit how it felt to get drafted, you know, top 10, and what went through your head as you walking on that stage.
Man, it was like one of the greatest feelings of my life. You know, I ain't gonna lie, like that whole night was like a blur. I really don't remember it too much, but it was just like, I know for a fact it was like the greatest moment of my life, and just like walking across the stage, shaking David Stern's hand, it was like a dream come true. Wow, this actually made it. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then, you know, looking at my parents down there crying and happy, man, it was just like, man, it's like made the world really change my life.
What was the first thing you bought?
Actually, the first thing I bought was both of my parents' cars.
Wow.
I bought both my parents some cars. Yeah, that was it. I'm low key, dude. I don't really spend much. I'm chill with it. So I bought them some cars, and that was it.
Respect. You got any questions?
What was the difference as far as the transition coming from college to the NBA as far as the practice every day? Like,
Actually, I'm about to sound crazy. The practices, like Lamar just said, the practices in college were harder than the league.
okay.
Like, you know, as you come into NBA, like especially when I got drafted to New York, you know, it was like guys 34 and over. So practices is like, you know, almost like walkthroughs to an extent, you know.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, but you got to be mentally intact. Because things like, you give you a lot of information and you go fast, like, you like a
Catch right there.
Yeah, you get like a thick book. And they like, all right, you got to learn this.
Right.
And you got to know them plays. You got to know every wrinkle. So it be one play, but it'll have like 10 options. You got to know it.
Wow.
So like, you know, that was like the hardest. I think mentally was like probably the hardest adjustment. The physical part wasn't that bad. It was like the mental part was the hardest.
Okay.
All right, so we went on the high. Let's talk a little bit about the lows.
Yeah.
So your rookie year, we read that you got real depressed. We want to know what was the depression, and you attempted suicide. So talk about, you know, what was the depression like, what was it for, and, you know, getting over attempted suicide.
That was like, you know, I got drafted, 9th pick in the draft. Probably had like, you know, a couple weeks after I got drafted. I'm sorry, right a week before training camp, my pops passed. So that was like my everything. My father, he missed a game. My father was like very instrumental in my life. On and off the court. So, you know, I lost him. I buried him. And 2 days later, I had to go straight to training camp. So I ain't had no time to really digest what happened and all that. But I used the on-court stuff as, you know, my therapy. So I'm like in training camp. I'm like, I'm barbecuing this dude.
Yeah.
Like, no way I'm starting this shit. My coach came to me and was like, you're a rookie. You got to pay your dues. I'm not gonna play. So I'm like,
Wow.
like, I'm, you know, like a teenager. There's no way you should. Like, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So dealing with that stuff, thinking that basketball was be my outlet, it wasn't. And not having my father who I would talk to. I'm in New York pretty much like by myself. So I'm in the room just having bad thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And just things just started to snowball. Like I never told about what I was going through. And you know, the media was killing me because they're like, oh, they thinking I'm just not playing because I was sorry or whatever. Coach never said it. He never told the truth that, hey, I told him I'm not playing as a rookie.
So how much does that happen, though? So you get these guys that come from whatever school, they're top 10 players, and automatically on the bench, and the media kills them.
Right.
So why aren't the coaches speaking out more to say, well, look, this is my system. I sit my rookies to back you when the media is all on your back?
A lot of times coaches, they gotta make sure, you know, they pretty much making sure they look good first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't say, oh, you know, Mike is coming in making 1.8. Like I told him, make guys making $14 million. He's killing him in practice. In the days of business, they got owner like, look, I want that $14 million on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So he got to find something to say.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that happens, unless you a guy with more like a number one pick and you're the franchise off the bat, then yeah, you got to play. But me, I came to a situation I wasn't a franchise. They already had Allen Houston and Kurt Thomas and all those guys there and whatever. So situation where I had to get in, but I did what I was supposed to do, but it didn't work out. But a lot of times it happens a lot, man, with guys where they should be, getting the minutes and they don't. People look at it might be the dude that's like the 14th man on that bench. Like, oh man, that dude's sorry. You put in one of these leagues, he'll probably be. So you'd be surprised how much talent is really in the league that's not on the floor.
Okay. So let's talk about you went to the Bulls. You played with Eddie from the area. Eddie Basson went to Roosevelt as well. He'll be calling them pretty soon. And then you got out of the league. So let's talk about, first, what are you doing now? We know about the Big Three. Talk a little bit about the Big Three as well.
Right now, for basketball-wise, I'm playing in the Big Three. I'm also playing in the Mixed League, the Washington Peace and Atlanta Peace League.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing that, too. That just came up last week or whatever. So be doing that. I volunteer coach at National Christian Academy. So just, Coach Trevor's one of my younger coaches growing up. So just doing that and also working with mental health kids. That's like my passion right now. Working with kids that's in need, trying to get them help. Because like I said, what I'm going through, it's a lot of youth kids that go through it too. They go through it worse. They dealing with it on another level where they trying to impress people on social media. Yeah. It's just bad all around, man. A lot of kids, I hear crazy stories where kids trying to kill themselves left and right, man. And you wouldn't even know it. They'll be walking in and smiling. But at home, they going through something crazy. So just trying to inspire them kids and try to just help them and guide them.
Got you. I got DC legend Stacy Robinson on the phone. Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, brother? You got any words for Mike?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to say to the staff of the Huddle, you guys doing a great job. Mike Sweetney, how you doing, big guy?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
And then I'm the guy to be seeing you at the Georgetown game, Mike.
I know you are.
My man, I just want to say, man, you come up to the DMV, man. I spent Georgia County, man. He's a great high school player at Oxford Hill. Great player at Georgetown. Touched down in them there for a couple of years, man. I just want to say, man, thank you for representing Prince George's County, man, because a lot of guys, man, come to this county, man, that don't touch down at MBU. Dickie Stephens, Walt Will, Mike Morrison. You guys put all the good work. And just keep up the great job you're doing in the community now, man. I tell you, it's a celebrity game. A couple of years ago in DDC, Mike Sweetney, you got a pair of softest hands I've ever seen for a big man, man. I ain't never seen you. Every time they drop it to you, man, you look like you had mitts on your hand. You put it on the floor, go off the glass, and you're a great young man out in this area, man. Just keep up the good work, Mike Sweetney.
I appreciate you, man. Really, that means a lot.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, Mike, we also go to Neil House for the Legends show. We'd like for you to come out and join us, man. One of these Sundays, man, also, if you have time.
Okay.
And then Neil claimed he had a great jump shot to you.
Hold on. Hey, Stacy, you're breaking up, bro. We got another call. Thank you. Hold on.
Eddie.
We got another call. This Eddie Basson. Eddie, you on with Stacy?
Hey, Neil. You got Coach Willie, you got Mr. Willis on the phone. So Neil.
Nah, this Eddie Basson.
Eddie B.
Hey, look, we can have a cookout later, y'all. Get to the question. Eddie, what's your question, bruh?
Eddie B.
Hey, B, what's up, babe, man? It's B, man. What's up, E, B?
I don't have no question for you, man. Just keep up the good work you doing, man. I love you. We love the DMV. Watching you playing at 303, man. You know what I'm saying, man? You got a lot of buckets, man. You're a double guy that have the county to touch down in the league, too, as well.
All right, thank you, Stacy.
Two good guys, man. Absolutely. My good man, Mike Sweetney in the building. What's going on?
man.
Yes, sir, man. You and them together, man. Y'all enjoy the show, man.
Stacy. Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Stacey, you on mute, bro. Hold up. Hey, Eddie, ask your question real quick. We got 1 minute, Eddie.
All right, look, hey, Mike.
What's up, boy?
Look, hey, look, Mike. We all know we go through trials and tribulations. We all know what the game is like and how vicious it is. Tell them how, when you got traded from the Knicks to the Bulls when I was there that season, and things shifted, man.
Yeah, man. Like,
tell them how Scott Skiles used to treat us and all that, man.
man, that was a situation, man. Like, for real. Like, I'm glad he said it because a lot of people thought I was crazy. A lot of people thought I was crazy when I was saying, like, man, this dude, man, is off the hook. Like, man, he treated us like trash, man. Like, me and Eddie be in that joint killing, and he was playing dudes in front of us that would look a little different from us. I'll say that.
Right.
That didn't deserve it. At one point, I'm averaging 18 points on the West Coast. Dude was averaging like 7.
Mm-hmm.
I went from starting to injured reserve, and like he treated us bad. Like me and Eddie, we just like fed off each other, man. Just try to get through as best as we can, man. Because it was like a battle we couldn't win. Because he had the media on his side, upper management obviously was on his side. It was crazy, man. But me and Eddie, man, we fought through it, man. Because we wanted to do something to that dude, man.
So that leads into
That time right there in our lives, man, that's one of the moments where you gotta check yourself. Right. Mike just came from New York where he was having a career year, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have no control in the trade or none of that. When he came there, you know, and we all know what Mike could do. Right. But once he got there, Scott Skiles wanted to change him into a different player. Once you at that level, that's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we all battling something, man, and that's the trials and tribulations of the game. That's the trials and tribulations of life.
All right, good. Let it talk, let it be.
Absolutely. So, you know, you could go up or you could go down. We ain't never go down, but the situation just wasn't for us. So, you know, things happen in the game, man, and, you know, we got to go. You know, go through what we go through. But, man, look, Mike always professional, came through. He was trying to do 2 or 3 of these. And, you know, we was out there killing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a defensive guy at that point, so I'm just trying to do what I could do. But Mike was already pretty much established, man, and the way that things took a turn, it was just crazy, man, because it's like, we good dudes, and we work hard.
Y'all great dudes.
And we handle our business, man. We don't take nothing for granted. But, man, that situation was pivotal right there for both of us, because I ended up going overseas. And then, you know, Mike, he stayed around for a little longer, but, you know, the business is the business. So, man, it was just wild, but it was a great time with my brother from the city. You know, like, people don't get that opportunity a lot. The play with a guy that they battled against each and every night, you know, during their high school career. So, man, look, that's my brother. You know, we're doing some new things with the Big Three, and we just having a great time with basketball, man, at this point in our life, man.
Hey, Eddie. Yo,
I want to say this to you and Mike Sweetney, Eddie B. Mike Sweetney, your nickname is Bucket Hitter. Eddie B, your nickname is The Glove. Huh?
Oh, this takes Rob.
Hey, look, I'm going to call y'all on 3-way later, bruh. We got to get back into the show. We appreciate y'all calling in.
Okay, man. Y'all have a nice day, man.
I like y'all, man. Look, Big Three.
All right, move,
man. Stay moving.
All
right, guys.
Speaking of Big Three,
right.
tell Cube we trying to come and cover the games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll be tough. That'll definitely be a good look, you know?
Definitely need, like, you know, definitely need some extra, you know, so, you know, people in the city, especially, you know, I think DC is probably one of the cities they're coming to.
Right.
So, like, you know, to have, you know, people that's already connected in the city involved, man, I think that'd be definitely a great look. But you can't always be, you know, corporate and all that. You know, sometimes you got to connect, man. So,
yes, sir.
I think that'd be a great idea.
All right, so before we go to commercial break, we got one last question for you. What advice would you give young kids from the area, you know, that's looking to pursue an NBA career, and also the players that are coming out of the league?
Well, the advice you got is trying to get to the league, man. Just work hard, man. It's just a lot of hard work, and it's gonna be dedication. You know what I'm saying? Time.
Now we live.
Okay, you know, these times that you got to pick and choose. Am I gonna go out and party tonight? Am I gonna hit this gym? So it's a dedication, and also too, you gotta be mentally strong because it ain't all. You get to that level, even college. Mom tell you like it's a business, man. So you gotta be mentally strong, and you gotta work hard. You gotta be mentally strong. You also gotta work hard.
All right, Lamar, any advice you give to the kids, especially the guards? The meanest 15-footer in the county.
Be a sponge in water. Like, whatever coach you have to be willing to teach you. I coach now, some of the kids, some are great listeners, some aren't. We're guys that, I would say this generation is the first generation that's come back to actually teach these guys what we know. We can't be a habit. It's kind of we going through trial by fire. Maybe we don't.
Yeah,
we got some
definitely.
back to the kids. Just be teaching you. And like I said, every day, give it your all. So that you get in those tough situations, and that's how you develop mental toughness. You lean on the work that you put in yesterday and the day before, so you get a situation. So the work is easy. The work was hard, but this game right here is easy because I have a positive momentum rate and the work that I put in.
Yeah.
So when I get to the game, it's just routine layup for me in my mind. So just work hard and be teachable and just keep pushing.
All right, we'll go to these commercial breaks. Stay tuned. You in the huddle. We'll be back with Mike Sweetney. That was Welcome back to the Huddle. I'm your host, Mr. Tucker. Our special guest for the day is Mike Sweetney. JB, you got your Huddle Hottie coming up, the Huddle Beauty and Brains. So let us get a little bit about that.
So this week, as I scroll, this week I came across a young lady named Ebony Blackwood. She go to Syracuse, track and field star out Syracuse. She caught my eye, so I was like, hey, let me, see what's going on. She do the triple jump, and then the 200 meter, 400 meter relays out Syracuse. So that's how I huddle, Beauty and Brains this week.
Okay. Do we have a clip of the Beauty and Brains this week?
We should have a clip of her.
Oh, right on. We're going to keep the wheels moving. I guess that's a no. So let's get right into the first topic, guys. So I was at BJ's yesterday eating dinner for a friend's birthday party.
BJ's?
Yeah. Time out. People were saying that John Wall needs to be traded or go to another team or released. The team is better without John Wall. Mike, you played in the league. You understand. What's your take on that?
You definitely need him to win. I don't buy that whatever. It's a regular season right now, you know what I'm saying? So the playoffs come up, you know what I'm saying, you're going to need that star. That's going to get you over the hump. I just think now, by him sitting down, you know, on the bench, I guess he got to see. But obviously, there's something going on in the locker room. It's something personal. You know, he's making comments like, yeah, everybody eating, everybody taking a shot. So, obviously, these dudes must got something against them, you know what I'm saying? So, that I don't know. I'm not in that loop or whatever, really know. But there's something definitely going on. I don't know if he lost his teammates in the locker room or something. It's definitely like a no respect level. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they currently 10-3 since he went down. They 10-3 since he sat down.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but you can't. Like I said, it's the regular season. And ain't nobody really going. I ain't saying nobody really going hard right now.
Right.
But I guarantee you, if it's the playoffs and they going to playoffs without him, they will not win the playoff series without him.
So what's the last game you watched of the Wizards, Charlie?
They lost to what? I mean, they beat the Bucks.
All right. Did you see the game against the Cavs?
They shouldn't have lost that game.
First of all, I'm not a fan. I think John Wall deserves a little bit more respect. First of all, the team is not better without John Wall. Everybody's eating because, you know, so everybody got to distribute and do their role. But John Wall put people in their place. He runs the offense, and he's the tempo guard. He's also a top 5 guard in the league. Even if you was to trade him, who do you get back for So
Expert?
Nobody. So I mean, it's like, if I was John Wall, I'd be like, you know what? I just bought all y'all some watches. I need my watches back. But how you feel about that, Carl?
I mean, they have been playing better, but that's only because he's not there. So usually when your star's there, the other players like stand around and wait for you to do your thing before they get into the play. So it's partly, I put it on them. They need to play their game when he in the game, and maybe the tempo will be different with him and them, you know, playing.
You know, he's like, this is my time to really, you know, show that I belong in the league and I can perform in this league. So a lot of guys got something to prove. A lot of guys feel like, okay, I got to step up. Like, okay, our leader's out, 18, 19 points a game, 10 assists. So, okay, I got to step my game up. You know, Otto Porter, you know, he's stepping his game up, making shots now. You know, Bradley's going to be Bradley, but, you know, other guys are really stepping up. Like Satoransky's been playing big and been playing solid. So I just think there's a lot of guys look at it as an opportunity to show other teams, just, you know, for the future, you know, that I can play in this league just because I'm sitting behind John Wall playing 5 minutes. So I'm sure you can play and also sign, you know, step up.
All right. So during the week, we saw an article, an Australian league is offering high schoolers $78,000 a year not to go to the NCAA. So they're playing this league for 4 years, get paid, and then get drafted. So JB, you did a little special on the article. Give us some of the highlights from the article.
So after reading the article, they mentioned Terrence Ferguson that play out OKC. So he was supposed to go to Arizona, but instead, after this offer came up, he went out to Australia, played with them for a year. Went out there, improved his skills, came back for the draft. Now he playing with OKC, and he made a little money. So the article just saying basically instead of going, since everybody going one and done in college, they like, well, forget that. You can come over here, make $100,000 with us, which is $78 for our money. Make that money over here and improve your skill for that 1 year that you're gonna do in college, but make money.
Okay.
Now we gonna get you ready for that next level, and now they do two things. One, get you ready and paid. Two, it highlight Australia's league. So now, if I'm a high schooler, I'm looking like, nah, I'm not going to Duke or Maryland or wherever. I'm about to go to Australia, make this money, and get ready for the league and come back.
So I want to bounce that to you, Charlie. Pause. As a parent of, you have a 48-year-old? But now, as a parent, if you had a son or even a daughter.
In the news about for Arizona, they're supposed to be paying a player $100,000. You, as a former Georgetown alumni, do you think you should with this straight NBA person with your education and both? What's your thoughts on that?
I ain't had options, but I mean, I think definitely, I think it depends on the person's upbringing, man.
Okay.
I mean, some people come from looted. It was like $100. I didn't even have it. Like my wife now, girlfriend at the time, had to she had a little job, she had to go buy it. And it's just like, you'd be surprised at stuff that kids got to go through. And that's why they take this money. Because, you know, you out there, you playing, but you A normal college student, you go to class and get a little side gig. That actually do it.
Right.
And then sometimes you come from a background where your parents might not have it. Some parents do got it, some parents don't. So I think it depends on the background.
So that leads into my next question. Should the NCAA pay the players?
Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, them dudes is making billions, man.
But then how do you decide who should get paid? Was that the golf team, tennis team?
But that's tough. I don't know how you do that because, like I said, some schools might have a big football program. The basketball program might be trash. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, I just think I don't know how. It's almost impossible for real. So you got so many sports. It's almost impossible.
What you say?
So
Debbie?
with this option on the table now, I don't know, you might see a decline for a certain level of athletes going to college now, with having this option to go over there and make this money. But only bad thing is, so they only give 3 spots to foreigners, so on their team. So granted, you're not going to see a big decline, but you're gonna start to see at least some of the people that'll go top 10 straight out of high school, top 15. They're gonna start going over there to make that money, and then going to the league.
So we got 2 quick topics, then we'll get into the commercials and come back. First topic, tanking in the NBA. Do you agree with it or not? Should they stop it or put some rule against? After basically the second half of the season, team know they're not going to the playoffs, they try to get a lottery pick. How you feel about it, Mike?
I think it's terrible, man. I mean, because you look at it, I look at it as a fan standpoint, man. Some fans are spending, some people budget. Some people budget to go to a game, and you go there, and the team is not playing their good players, or they just like, all right, I'm just going to lose this game. I think it's not fair for a parent. It's a lot of times a parent might, say, okay, they said first time taking their kids to a game, and you go there, and that's what you see.
Yeah.
Like, I think you should play every game to win, man. And that tanking stuff doesn't really help. I mean, how many teams have you seen that tank that say, okay, they actually won the championship or like really made a huge pickup?
So if the coach came to you and say, Mike, missed the shot, slag on defense.
I couldn't do it as an athlete. I'm a competitor.
Okay.
So, but I don't think, what they do is they sit there. They don't, there's no way you can tell a professional player, man, let's lose this game. A lot of times, you put them in positions to lose. Like you look at Dallas, they're going to probably start taking Dirk out. They're going to probably start taking Wes Matthews out. They're going to start playing these dudes in the bench or putting some D-League guys in minutes playing against Russell Westbrook. That's how you lose games.
Right.
You can't tell Dirk Nowitzki, hey, man, go out there and just go 1 for 10. Nah, that ain't happening. I think they just put, if you ever watch it, they always put into the bench guys or D-League guys against, hungry guys like Russ that's fighting for playoff position.
Respect. Last question real quick before we go to commercial. Jordan Clarkson came out and said it's a difference between leadership from Kobe. He's more aggressive. He's old school, fighting in your face, cussing you out, versus playing with LeBron. Nicer guy, buddy, make up handshakes and all this other stuff. If you were in the league right now, what leadership would you want to be under? The guy that's kind of in your face, pushing you like a big brother, or the best friend as a LeBron competitor?
I would say Kobe.
Kobe?
Yeah. You want somebody that's going to push you and also, show you love. But, it's tough love. I'm not saying LeBron is like faking them, but you look at the situation where he do all them handshakes. You got to lose a couple games in a row. Them guys out of there. He had a handshake with Isaiah Thomas, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Hey, so
I see what's up, baby.
you see it a lot, man. Where it's a lot. It's all love. It's my brother. I love him or whatever. Next thing you know, you lose because he got that pressure winning championship. So if you ain't helping him, you out of there. So I'm not saying it's fake love. It's one of those things like you don't know, but Kobe like, look, I'm in it to win. I'm gonna push you to get better. It's gonna benefit everybody.
Okay, respect. Well, after these commercials, we'll come back. We have Pop Warner League Commissioner Willis Thomas for the CBL. Stay tuned. You're in the Huddle. To the Huddle. You're here live with Mr. Tucker. I have Commissioner Willis Thomas. I have my man Mike Sweetney and Mike on the set. Welcome to the show, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So you're the commissioner of the YFL League, the Capital Beltway League. So give us a little background about what that is, and then we'll go into talking about the show that we're going to have produced by the Huddle.
So the Capital Beltway League is a league that has been in existence for almost 50 years now. It serves different parts of the area, anywhere from Montgomery County to District of Columbia, Prince George's County, just all youth football. We actually have cheerleading as well. The last 5 years, I think this is our 5th year, we'll be with the American Youth Football National organization, which allows our teams to compete for national championships in Florida.
Okay, so how many teams right now is in the CBL?
So with the, we just had a recent, somewhat of a merger with the GMYFL. So with that being said,
to the CBL, watching these games, interviewing the kids, and we're going to put
every year since we've been in the American Youth Football League. Ridge Road, Peppermill, White Oaks won 2 of them, Forestville won 1. We've had a lot of other teams that have done well, as well in the national scene. So we're very happy about our league, the competitiveness of it. With the merger with GMYFL, that's going to help build up our unlimited division. We already have a good weighted program, but now that's going to help our limited division build up and possibly produce some national championships in our unlimited division as well.
Okay, I got a question for you. Let's talk about the violence in youth football as the parents see it, or some of the companies coming out saying they don't want their kids to play football because of the concussions and the helmets. Have they done anything or did anything new to kind of help that issue or speak to it?
So I think a couple of things that they've done, the technology with the equipment, with the helmets, has come a long way to try to help with that issue. One of the other things we have is the Heads Up program, which we have to, that in my course of being a commissioner and a former coach, I don't think it's been that many injuries related to concussion. I think it's more the other type of injuries. And again, I think you can have a concussion playing basketball. I think you hit the ground, you hit the floor, coming down from a rebound or making a shot. That floor is not going to give. So I think it can be in any sport. It can happen out here in life. I mean, so I don't think the answer is saying you eliminate youth football. I think that it's a place for it. I think the kids need something to do. And I'm a strong proponent of having that avenue out there for them.
Okay. Mike, you got any questions?
No, I've been to a lot of their games, actually. Know a few coaches for Ridge Road, White Oak, Peppermill, Montgomery Village. So I've been to a lot of it. It is a really good league, very competitive. Cool kids I've come across, when I'm at the games, a lot of fun. So I just want to say thank you for having the league. You give the kids a lot to look forward to. They're really excited to play. And it's showing them a lot of discipline. A lot of these kids are in single-parent homes, and it's giving them the chance to be around decent men that can show them, some life skills.
All right, so I have one question before we get back into one quick commercial break before we come back with Charlie P's 2-minute drill. The NFL, what's your team?
Washington Redskins.
Don't put your head down when you say it, brother. Say it with your shot. The Washington Redskins. Right.
I was born and raised on them. I'm sorry. I used to live there, too.
Respect. So my question to that is, what should we do with Kirk Cousins, or where is he going to land?
I have Cousins going to Denver. I think the Redskins made the right decision in getting Alex Smith and just parting ways with Cousins. I think if you look at it, he lost the sideline. Every time when he's on the bench, he's just sitting on the bench with the quarterback coach. He's never engaging the other team, the other players. It's like it was all about him. And I think he had checked out anyway, based off of the comments. So I think it was the best thing to do for both parties.
Respect that. So if you're the commissioner and we saw this don't watch football this year. And what's my guy from the 49ers?
Kaepernick?
Kaepernick. How do you feel about his movement now that football has kind of pushed him to the side and moving on?
So I think that's the problem. We try to speak out on an issue anymore. It is an issue. I mean, Kaepernick was probably better than a lot of, maybe at least 5 starting quarterbacks that were out there this year, but he couldn't get an opportunity because he chose to speak his mind and protest the police brutality in this country. So he has a right to freedom of speech and feel the way he wants to feel. It shouldn't be come at the cost of him losing his job or not being able to get a job.
All right. Well, thank you, Commissioner Thomas, for coming on. CBL, stay tuned in August. We're going to have that show live on the Huddle. We'll be back after these quick commercials. Thank you.
Only up to the morning, children. When my eyes was closed, Lord, I could move, yeah. Yeah. That's a mighty good reason. You see me shout.
To the Huddle. We're here live with our special guest, Mike Sweetney. It's time for Charlie P's 2-minute drill.
Oh, okay.
Here's the section that we're going to do 2 minutes, and I'm going to ask you little quick questions, and you have 30 seconds to answer. 1, if your team was to lose, would you want to go shake the player's hand? They blow you out, would you go shake hands? Go.
Yes.
Why?
Just respect for the game. You know, win or lose. You know, if you win, you're gonna do it. So when you lose, the same thing. You respect the game. You can move forward.
Okay, cool. Next question is, you answered it earlier. You said about players getting paid, athletes getting paid. As a coach, how you know what players to pay, or you just do it straight out, just pay everybody? How would you do it?
I don't know. That's tough. You can say because you don't want nobody to feel. Obviously, you know, you got your star player. Yeah, it's tough. I'll just say, you know, if it's college, you just, I don't know, man. You give everybody like $5,000 a month or something like that. I don't know. Just say $5 grand a month, and they get even.
That's good.
You know,
Last question. Random question.
All right.
Okay, the shooting down in Florida. As an athlete, can you play a role in preventing guns from being in kids' hands? What can you say to have them out? 'Cause you dealt with depression, and you may be still dealing with it now. What would you do for that outlet?
It's obviously, like I said, that's mental health. You know, that's dealing with somebody going through something. And it just snaps, and it just, you know, just let them know, like, look, man, taking other people's lives ain't the root, man. You know, find a way to talk it out, get some help. You know, whether it's medication, talking to somebody, spiritual, whatever it could be. You know what I'm saying? You know, killing people, it ain't gonna help. Because right now, you know, either he's gone, you know, you're dead and gone, or you're in jail for the rest of your life. The problem's not solved. So taking somebody else's life ain't the answer.
Thank you, sir.
Real quick barbershop question. Who better, Jordan or Kobe?
Jordan.
Jordan LeBron.
Jordan.
Respect. Say less. All right, so I want to just say shout out to Largo Girls and Coach Anaya and Pettis and them over there doing their thing. Also, shout out to senior Tania White. She's going to Bethune-Cookman. And good luck, girls, when you go to the States. They got unfinished business. Mike, you want to shout out any players or coaches that's definitely been. Also, shout out to the athletic director of PG County, man. He's definitely allowed us to come in as a young black business and do our thing. Please email us. We want to help y'all out, and we want to say thank you once again for those that helped us. Shout out to my son and my daughter. Love y'all. Shout out to the wife. We out here. Welcome to the Huddle. Tune in next week, 7 p.m.
Gotcha.